Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and a very warm welcome to this Tuesday night live here on Movies TV Mad. So what are we talking about tonight? There's a rumor floating around that Braniac will be the main villain in Superman Legacy. Tom Taylor, the comic book writer, is hinting that maybe, and it's just a hint, and it looked like a hint to me, that maybe the Superboy, John Kent, will be the Superman in Superman Legacy. It's something I've spoken about before. And there are reports and rumors that Constantine 2 has been cancelled at DC Studios. So, and if we flip over to Marvel, we've had mixed Ant-Man 3 reactions. Ant-Man Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, basically Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has had mixed reactions. Very interesting. Basically talking about the performance by the actor who played Kang being really good. Interactions between Ant-Man and Kang being really good. But I think people feel this is not a good, strong movie, but the villain was very, very good. And so that's what we're going to be discussing tonight here on Movies TV Mad. Now, there is a fake post reply by James Gunn over on Twitter, faked by an AI, by Snyder fans. Unfortunately, they just can't help themselves. So the fake post reads that Brainiac would be the villain, and there'll be many villains in Superman Legacy. It looks like it's a fake post because I did check his tweets and replies, and that's not the case. So yeah, we have to fact check things that we see on Twitter from James Gunn because they may not be from James Gunn, which is a shame that people are so deeply triggered and angry. They don't understand that they can't stop this. This is happening. But yeah, some of these Snyder bots are very, very angry. So there is some fake stuff going on out there. But there is a rumor Constantine 2 starring Keanu Reeves has been cancelled at DC Studios. And Tom Taylor, quote tweeted a James Gunn, an actual James Gunn tweet where he put up some artwork from a Superboy comic book. So it's been my long theory that maybe John Kent is Superman in Superman Legacy and not Kal-El, the last son of Krypton. Is that a possibility? Well, it will be a very controversial thing to do. We will wait and see. Lots of questions there. And as I say, a mixed response to mixed reactions to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Because I think Jonathan Major's performance is being highly heralded. But I think, that doesn't say it's a great movie. Ronnie Dodge, looks like by calling it Legacy, Brainiac is the villain. So, yeah, I was just talking, Ronnie. There's a fake post from James Gunn put up by an AI. It's not from James Gunn, I don't think, where he says Brainiac's the villain and, there's lots of villains in Superman Legacy. But actually, it's a fake post. So James Gunn has not confirmed that Brainiac is the villain in this. But Tom Taylor did quote tweet that artwork James posted. I think it's artwork from a Superboy, a John Kent Superman comic book. So that's kind of a hint to me that maybe John Kent is the Superman in Superman Legacy. And again, if you look at the meaning of legacy, it means, someone's legacy. And so I'm starting to think that maybe John Kent is the Superman in Superman Legacy and not Kal-El, the last son of Krypton. Or maybe the last son of Krypton is there, but this is really a John Kent story. That could be a thing as well. And very mixed reviews or reactions, should I say, for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And that's what's going on tonight. And yes, it looks like Constantine 2 isn't going to happen at DC Studios any longer. Listen, I love Keanu, but I don't think he's not really Constantine to me. I think the first Constantine movie is okay. But yeah, I wouldn't be triggered or upset if that Constantine 2 movie doesn't go forward. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see Keanu Reeves in Constantine 2? Now we're getting a Swamp Thing movie. Swamp Thing and John Constantine have got a big history in the comics. So I'm very convinced that we will get a John Constantine in DCU. Jack, Yo Mick, yo. I agree. Somebody else could play Constantine better. Yeah, I never thought that Keanu was a great Constantine. And even if this was a DC Elseworlds, I think they want to hold off in kind of mixing it up a bit, So, because I do feel there will be a John Constantine in the DCU. I do feel in the Swamp Thing movie there will be a John Constantine. So, yeah, that could be the reason. But Keanu Reeves recently spoke about Constantine too and said they're still developing a script. And I don't know when he said this. I don't think it's going to happen personally. I think things have changed since James Gunn and Peter Safran have come in, and that's obvious. Reno Jack, have you ever watched Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu's absolutely terrible fake British accent? Lol. Yeah, listen, Keanu isn't a great actor. There's no question. He's great in John Wick, but he isn't really a great actor. He's a superstar. Keanu Reeves is a film star. He's not really an actor. And yeah, I agree about Keanu Reeves in Bram Stoker's Dracula, a film I really, really like, by the way. Ronnie George, I still feel it's Clark. Did you see the Superman picture that James posted on his Twitter? That's what I'm talking about. Apparently, that's what Tom Taylor actually quote tweeted, talking about his own John Kent comic book. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's John Kent that's the focus in this story, and not Kal-El, the last son of Krypton. But we will wait and see. Hopefully it's Clark. But these things are coming. But yeah, there are some fake IE posts from James Gunn. He hasn't confirmed that Braniac is the villain. That's for sure. Reno Jack, I love that movie. Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins are taking every scene. Great work from both. Oh, Gary Oldman as Dracula. Yeah, brilliant. It's a brilliant film. Look, I think Keanu does okay. The English accent is shit. We've seen loads of shit accents in movies and TV and in the theatre before. Kevin Costner couldn't really do a British accent, so they just in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, so they just got him to be more refined with the way he spoke. But that's okay. I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, by the way. But yeah, a brilliant movie. One of my favorite movies, Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's amazing. Annie Lennox's No More I Love You. Absolutely fantastic tune as well, which is taken from that movie. Yeah, so Reno Jack, there's a funny montage on YouTube of his accent going in and out. It's pretty funny, yeah. I don't like mocking anyone, He tried his best. It wasn't great. He was okay in the movie. And yeah, Reno Jack, top 3 vampire movies. Interview with a Vampire. Bram Stoker's Dracula. And there's loads of great Hammer House of Horror Dracula movies as well. So yeah, but they'd be my top 2. Bram Stoker's Dracula and Interview with a Vampire. And I can't believe they've done a series called Interview with a Vampire. If you're a Dexter fan, it's been confirmed that we are going to get a Trinity Killer prequel. We're going to get a Dexter prequel when he first leaves university and starts at Miami PD as well. And Dexter New Blood, starring Harrison, is also coming. So they're building out a Dexter franchise over at Showtime. Big fan of Dexter. Can't wait to see that. But if you're a DC fan, yeah, the Braniac stuff isn't true, but Braniac could be the villain. But who knows about that? John Kent could be the Superman in Superman Legacy. Who knows? And I think that Constantine 2 is not happening. And it's been reported by the Direct that Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle have been cut at the end of the Flash movie, something we discussed a few days ago as well. Reno Jack, Interview with a Vampire is unbelievable. The remake is a disgrace. Like most remakes, they're corrupt. They're just creatively bankrupt. John, did you like Dracula Untold? I thought it was a neat, interesting idea. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite like Dracula tellings or vampire movies, but it was interesting. Reno Jack, what about Lost? Oh, Lost Boys is great. Kiefer Sutherland, my man Kiefer, Jack Bauer, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Those were the days. They don't make films like that anymore. That's what my dad used to say, and I used to take the piss out of him. And now I'm 50 years old, and I'm saying they don't make movies and TV shows like they used to in the UK. Growing up, I had 3 channels. That's all I needed. Entertainment was so good, we only needed 3 channels. But yeah. Look, they should never have touched Interview with a Vampire. Never, ever. What a great movie. What a great movie. Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. Wow, what a film that is. They don't have a clue. They've driven all the talented people out of the industry. There's no talent in the industry anymore. So if you want to talk about something, let's have a chat about it. Let's talk about DC. Let's talk about other films like we've been doing. And let us know what you want to talk about tonight. So I'm here to talk about entertainment. Let me know what you want to talk about. But The Lost Boys is a great movie. My first my first Kiefer Sutherland movie was actually Flatliners, which I fucking love. Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland. Some lines should never be crossed. And Oliver Platt, the great Oliver Platt. Reno Jack, for casting for Damian Wayne. Well, the problem is I don't really know many 11 or 12-year-old actors, so I'm kind of lost. I don't know. I mean, why don't you tell me? Tell me who you would like, because I can't think of actors that young. So it's a bit difficult to fan cast him. He's going to be pretty young. I mean, Jones has already said he's a tween, not a teen. So he's, yeah, as I say, very young. But I don't know actors that young. So, yeah, just let the casting happen, I say. Reno Jack, good point. I didn't think about how old he'd be. Yeah, I don't know actors of that age. So I think it's going to be, well, we will see. We will see. I mean, it's a brilliant dynamic between Damian and Batman in the comics and in the animation, which I've seen. And I'm so excited that Damian Wayne is the Robin. It's interesting, but I still think we'll get Dick Grayson and Jason and the rest of them. They're all going to turn up sooner rather than later, because they are building out this Bat family. They're definitely going to introduce a Batgirl as well, and almost certainly the Twitter meltdown will happen when it's not Leslie Grace, but you're going to have to suck it up. That's not the direction they're going to go in. So the more information we get about this brand new DCU, the more excited I get. And if people want to be arseholes, if people want to be upset, it's up to them. Reno Jack, how about fan casting for Bruce in Brave and the Bold? Yeah, let me know. Who do you think should play Batman in Brave and the Bold? I mean, it's interesting. He's going to be around 30 years old, around that. He's not going to be any older. So Jensen Ackles is older than 30. It's not going to be Jensen Ackles. So Superman's around 25. So he's talked about a couple of years older. But I think he'll be about 30. John, let's just hope James Gunn gets Superman right. Well, this is what we were talking about the DC Universe on the DC Universe Daily today, John, that it's such a hard thing that he's taking on. Not only does he have to make a Superman movie, make Superman relatable, but he also has to set up a brand new universe, John. So it's very, very difficult. And everyone's got such a different idea and a varied idea who Superman should be. So it's a big challenge. And I spoke about Richard Donner's Superman and how he was under less pressure at the time because there wasn't anything for people to say, obviously there was the George Reeves television show, which was beloved because it's one of the first things that ever landed on the new technology that was television in the 1950s. But yeah, I mean, Richard Donner went in there, he knew what he wanted to do and it worked. And I spoke about the creators of Superman, Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, presenting Dick Donner with a Superman statue, and they cried at the premiere of Superman the movie. Maybe I think they would have cried when they saw Superman, Man of Steel, but I don't think for the same reasons that they cried for when they saw Superman the movie. I love Man of Steel, but I don't think Siegel and Shuster would have been happy at some of the stuff they saw in that movie. Just a guess. But we spoke about that today, John, on the DC Universe Daily, because it is a big task. And Superman the movie is always going to be that ghost that haunts anyone who tries to touch Superman, because they got it right. Everything is perfect. Krypton is beautiful. Metropolis is great. The interactions in the Daily Planet, Perry, Lois, Jimmy. It's the Superman comics. It's absolutely accurate. Christopher Reeve is perfect. It just works. The music is outstanding. They just got it right. They got what Siegel and Shuster did in the comics, and it was the comics come to life. And Hollywood were in the same position then. We're talking. I was talking about on the DC Universe Daily about Star Wars 77 and Superman 78, and prior to that, films were very realistic, bit like they are now. And because basically at that time we had like Nixon and Watergate. Like a lot of films were kind of hating on Nixon. It's like what's happening today with Trump and all the commentary we get. And films have become less fantastical and more realistic. And, Snyder decided, and Goya and Nolan wanted to do a realistic Superman. And it didn't really work out. Because I've discussed before how Superman isn't a character you can bring in kicking and screaming into the real world. I mean, look, Homelander, if you want to see a realistic, evil Superman, Homelander's there. Go watch him. But that's not really what we want for Superman. I don't want that, personally. I don't want Superman to be a murderer. I don't want Superman to be an asshole. I want Superman to be the big blue Boy Scout he's always been in the comics and the animation. And I think most people want that as well. So yes, John, everyone's hoping that James can get him right. I think that James understands what everyone wants and what the studio want and what the studio expects. So yeah, there will be an attempt, to make sure that they get him right. But it's difficult. It's a very difficult thing that James Gunn, it's a very difficult challenge. We know, Jack, if Leo DiCaprio finally caved and took a role in a superhero movie, who could you see him portraying? I hope he never does, personally, but it's fun to speculate. Interesting Perry White, Leo would make. I mean, it's a bit difficult. I mean, in the DC universe, who could he play? I think he'd be an interesting Joker if he had the makeup on and stuff, because DiCaprio's a great actor. But there are obviously characters he could play. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think in DiCaprio and Denzel, you're talking of actors of the highest caliber. I was talking about Denzel, how he would make a great Lex Luthor, and he would. Denzel is peak. But these are people, that are very, very hard to get into superhero movies. It's a bit like the crappy rumors that were coming out about Tom Cruise playing Iron Man in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That was never going to happen. That was just a rumor that people believed. And people still believe that was going to happen, and they cut it. It's bullshit. John, even the bad Superman movies are comic accurate. Yeah, in terms of like the Christopher Reeve ones, I don't think Superman 3 is a bad movie. I think Superman 4 could have worked, but it was underfunded. I think that's the problem with Superman 4. Not necessarily that even Superman 4 has got some really great moments in it. And yeah, that film is pretty much comic book accurate. Nuclear Man was an original villain. He's not from the comics. They have put him in the comics recently. But yeah, I agree with you there, John. Yeah. I think you don't have to copy and paste Superman. It's important that Superman is Superman. People want to see Jimmy Olsen. They want to see Lois in the Daily Planet. They want to see Perry. They want to see Lex Luthor. These are the things they want to see. And whatever other villains you bring into the mix, you know, Lobo, I mean, he's part of the Superman universe. He's a recurring character. He's a kind of important character as well. So hopefully we do get Lobo in Superman Legacy as well. But you're right about that as well, John. Yes. Even the bad Superman movies, although I've enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed all 4 of the movies. I enjoyed the 5th one as well, Superman Returns with Brandon Routh. Not a perfect movie. I can nitpick at it. I can say this and that. MSGT Lobo was a Superman character. Yep. Yes, that's where Lobo shows up mostly in Superman stories. So if he shows up anywhere, and if the rumors are true, he will be in Superman Legacy. And of course, Cat Grant. Cat Grant has been in a lot of the comics where she works with Lois and Clark in the Daily Planet. Of course, in the final season of Smallville, we did have Cat Grant working at the Daily Planet, and she wasn't a big fan of Superman. And of course, Supergirl had a Cat Grant as well. MSGT, I think the first time I saw Lobo was in a Dark Horse comic. Didn't know he started out in Superman titles. I don't know where he started out, MSGT, but I know that in a lot of modern day comics and a lot of like comics in the past 20 years, you know, Lobo has been connected in Superman comics. You're probably right about where he started out, but we're talking about recent history there. So that's why he was in the Krypton TV show as well, again, connected to Superman. So he probably started out in a Dark Horse comic, but Lobo has had many interactions with Superman over the years in the comics, and that's for sure. So as I say, if he shows up anywhere, it will be Superman Legacy. And he's a great character. He really is. If you get Lobo right, he could be a really fundamentally cool character, and not necessarily a straight out and out villain, because I don't see him as an out and out villain. MSGT, well, that lends credibility towards the idea that Mama might be Lobo and who might pop up in the Superman movie. Yeah. Obviously, he's always wanted to play Lobo. He was talking about Lobo. He said he can play Lobo and Aquaman at the same time. That tells you that maybe we're heading into more of a multiversal thing, which will be exciting as well. But yeah, Lobo, if he shows up, I think he will be in Superman Legacy. Of course, Lobo is a bounty hunter, isn't he? An intergalactic bounty hunter. So it's a very interesting premise, and I'd love to see him in Superman Legacy. Of course, Superman Legacy has to set up the DCU as well as telling a great Superman story. If it pulls off both, it'll be brilliant. I think we're not going to have the usual MCU problems here. They're going to forward the one story arc, but they're still going to make unique DC movies and TV shows and animation where they do tell unique stories, but they just forward the arc at the same time. Now, Lanterns, which is really about forwarding that story arc, and that's part of the mystery they'll be investigating, which is a very, very clever idea. MSGT, yeah, I agree 100%. We may not have heard from Gunn about a Lobo title yet because of the Aquaman movie coming up. Yeah, I don't expect Lobo to actually be in his own movie, but I do expect Lobo to be in Superman Legacy. MSGT, but Lobo doesn't necessarily have to be a title. He could just be in a Superman movie. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, he's not going to be in a movie. He's not going to have his own movie. I mean, putting Lobo in his own movie is a bit like putting Boba Fett in his own streaming series. I can see problems with that. But as a supporting character in a Superman movie, absolutely perfect. Liquid gold. Take my money now. That will be very, very exciting. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. This is Movies TV Mad. I am live. Sometimes at least once a day. Sometimes we do the DC Universe Daily Live. Sometimes we pre-record it. Depends what my times are like and what mood I wake up in. I think there's a good chance of Lobo being in Superman Legacy for sure. Big chance. I think there will be quite a few villains in Superman Legacy, I imagine. But it's a big mystery, Superman Legacy. We don't really know what kind of film it's going to be. MSG2, oh, I can see a Lobo title later down the line, just not yet. If possible, like the character in the Superman movie. They would love to see a title later when Green Lantern Corps gets into it. Maybe. There's just no evidence at this moment in time, MSGT, that a Lobo movie would work or will put butts in seats. Now, maybe an HBO Max streaming show or something like that may be a better idea. But yeah, I think that's ifs, buts, and maybes if he gets his own title. But definitely in Superman Legacy, that will be cool. And let's see how popular he becomes within the franchise. And it'd be interesting to theorize what will the slate be for Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters Part 2, because there's still a lot more titles to announce in the first chapter of DC Universe. I'm predicting a Wonder Woman movie, and a Green Lantern movie. MSGT, they have to build this universe first. Over at Marvel, they can do anything now and get butts in the seats. Well, I mean, it didn't really work out for Eternals, did it? I think you have to be careful what you do. And as I always say, it's how you execute it. And Marvel isn't the darling it once was either. And there's been mixed reactions to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Waz007, hi everyone from England. Good evening, Waz. But as I predicted about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the only good thing about the film is Kang the Conqueror and Jonathan Majors' performance, and which is what they're pretty much saying. They don't service good films, they service the chapterizations. This is something that DC needs to avoid. Reno Jack, Ant-Man, I can't, man. Yeah, well, this is a big one. This is chapter 1 of phase 5. And, it introduces this huge villain, Kang the Conqueror. So I think that element of it is exciting. But I don't think it's going to be much of a movie. I mean, Marvel films are not great films. They just basically generically service the story they're telling within the MCU. MSGT, exactly. People are complaining about Green Lantern being a show without thinking about if this is a one-off season. A Green Lantern movie in deep space is definitely in the cards. Oh, definitely. They're going to do it. That's just the beginning. That is just the beginning. Of course they're going to do a Green Lantern movie. That is just the time. Paradise Lost is just a tie-in and a lead-up to a Wonder Woman movie. Of course it is. This is just the beginning. Reno Jack, Paul Rudd is a former actor, current check casher. I think that's a bit unkind, Reno. I really do. It's really hard. I can tell you this from experience. Very hard being an actor, being a working actor. So you take the work. I mean, someone offers you a job on the MCU, you fucking take it, right? So I wouldn't criticize him for that. I think Paul Rudd's a good actor. I think he's good at what he does. And yeah, if I was in Hollywood and I got offered the MCU, of course I'd take it. Who wouldn't? It's very difficult to find regular work as an actor. I'm sorry, Mick. I'm full of it this morning. Nothing to be sorry about. Yeah, but yeah, it is. No, it's not easy being a working actor. He's not a superstar or anything. You take the work where you can get it. Was 007. Paul Rudd is a good actor. He is a good actor. He's a solid actor. Look, basically, he's Zachary Levi in the MCU, isn't it? That's what he is. MSGT, I think Paul Rudd is great. I think Paul Rudd is great. Used to be in Friends. He played Michael, Phoebe's boyfriend. I think he was Michael. I mean, Paul has been around for years. And I mean, he only got involved because of Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright was developing a great Ant-Man movie. They sacked him because they didn't like the fact he was making a great movie rather than just moving along the MCU story. And I think that's going to be the difference between DCU and MCU, where I think they will be servicing the project that they're dealing with and dealing with the story that they want to tell. But they won't allow it just to be chapterized and that's it. And I think James Gunn has already spoken about this. Reno Jack, he's classic in Friends. Him and Matt LeBlanc were hilarious together. They were. I love Friends. Still watch it. Where's 007? Imagine Paul Rudd and Zachary need to do film together. That'd be interesting. They would make a great comedy act. It's going to be interesting how much Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania makes and what the reviews are like. I don't think the reviews are going to be great. The best reviews are going to be for Jonathan Majors, but not for the movie. MSGT, Edgar Wright is not the kind of director for the MCU. I was worried that Gunn was going to standardize a DCU tone. Glad that it appears that he's not known. He's already said he's not going to do a standardized tone. Each piece of content will have its unique palette, its unique tone, and it will be unique. It won't just be to service a story. And I don't like the fact that everything in the MCU looks the same. I've kind of given this analogy before. We're on the planet Earth, right? But if you come to Cyprus, it's a different place, isn't it? You go to the UK, it's a different place. But everything looks the same, right? Just because we're on the planet Earth. But the MCU, it's all rather, it just looks the same. It's not that unique, right? Reno Jack, a show like Friends or Seinfeld could never exist today. Oh my God. I've been watching Friends. It's so un-PC. Some of the stuff they did in there, and I mean, the creators have already apologized about it. I don't give a shit personally, but wow, yeah, you're right. Why is 007? Any news Expendables 4? Nope. Not as far as I know. I'm not really following it. MSGT, yeah, I'm happy about that. Yeah, look, I think James Gunn's heart is in the right place. He's complained about generic superhero movies. He's complained about the quality of the movies and the content thus far. So I think he will create things that are unique. And I think they're going to take their time. And as I said today on the DC Universe Daily, they're not going to chuck 6 or 7 projects at us a year. At first, I think they just want to take it slowly. And I think that's the right thing to do. So 2 DC movies, for example, if we only get the Batman 2 and Superman Legacy in 2025, I'm fine with that. You know, you don't want to rush a bunch of stuff, a generic shit stuff, do you now? Yeah, so I'm happy about that as well. As I say, he's making the right noises. The slate looks great. He's talking it up. I'm excited. I'm excited because it does feel we're going to get like great versions of these characters. Reno J, MCU has become a conveyor belt of cookie cutter products. Yeah, the MCU in phase 1 was making old-fashioned type movies and focusing on the movies. I think they were doing it right in phase 1. I think after the Avengers, their mentality changed. MSGT, the MCU made me think that sameness is necessary for a shared universe. I never believed that, but it isn't. A horror-rated R Swamp Thing could appear in a PG-13 Superman. It's all about the director pulling it off. Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it, MSGT? That's why I gave you the analogy of the planet Earth having different countries. Cyprus has different brickwork to the UK, for example, different style buildings. Just because you're in the same world, it doesn't mean all the countries are going to look the same. Just because you're in the MCU, it doesn't mean everything's going to look the same. Waz 007, was running DC Studios, start Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, then Superman, Green Arrow, that Batman, then Aquaman, then Green Lantern. Yeah, as I said this morning, I don't think it matters particularly how you start, it's how you execute what you start. But we are starting with Superman. I'm happy about that because I'm a big Superman fan. I definitely think that's the right decision. I think Batman, the Brave and the Bold, or Brave and the Bold, I think will come maybe a year or two after Superman Legacy. There's no way Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and the Batman 2 come out in the same year. They're quite way off of that at the moment, and they're way off of Superman, Woman of Tomorrow too. MSG2, that's an MCU Phase 1 formula. DC does not have to do that. Marvel had to. Well, they didn't have to do anything, MSG2. They decided to do it. They decided to do it. That's the thing. You don't have to do anything. But they became a generic platform, which makes a lot of money. So good luck to them. And it is about money for them. As I say, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is not going to get good reviews. Let's see how the box office does. It's going to be very, very interesting. Be crazy, wouldn't it, if Shazam! Fury of the Gods made more money than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Reno Jet, the Batman 2, not till late 2025, and I can't imagine the Brave and the Bold would come out before it. No, it won't come out in the same year, there's no question. Waz 007, more excited Brave and the Bold than the Batman 2? Well, definitely equally excited for both of them. I really am. I think the Batman 2 is going to be great. I like the first Batman film. I think it's a bold movie. It focuses on its story and characters. I like the noir element of it as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to both of those movies. I mean, it's crazy that we're going to have two different Batman universes, but there you go. Will it work? I'm sure they'll make it different enough so it does work. You are watching Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. We are talking DC, we are talking movies, we are talking television. I'm pretty obsessed with Everybody Loves Raymond right now. What a clever sitcom that was, based on the comedy of Ray Romano, the takedown of the modern day family, and it's fucking hilarious. 9 seasons they did of that. Reno Jack, probably less pressure to rush Brave and the Bold, since people will still get their Batman fix with the Reeves sequel, in 2025, Waz 007, any news, James Bond? Absolutely snail's pace, Waz 007. These people, they need to replace the leadership. MSGT, but nobody mainstream really knew anything about Thor, Iron Man, and others before 2008. Thanks to the history, DC never has to introduce Superman or Batman or others. No need for Batman origin. Look, they're not going to, I don't think that Brave and Bold is a Batman origin. I don't think that Superman Legacy, well, it's not an origin. Now, obviously, there's lesser known characters that are coming, so maybe they'll go a bit more deeper with their origin. Reno Jack, Everybody Loves Raymond is so underrated. Brad Garrett is hilarious as well. Brad is amazing. Brad is the man. I love him. Everybody loves Raymond. I love it. It's so factual to the family demographic. You're watching it and you're laughing at it and you're going, Jesus Christ, that's my mum. God bless her soul. She's not around anymore. That's my dad. That's how I was. I was Brad Garrett's character. I was Robert. You know, my mum would kiss up to my brother. So it's just such a clever comedy, and it's all from the mind of Ray Romano. Also amazing that this was about an Italian family as well. MSGT, saw Brad Garrett in Vegas. Funny guy. He's a multi-talented man, but in Everybody Loves Raymond, he is everyone in that sitcom is trying their best. They're performing. Doris, is it Dorothy Roberts or Doris Roberts as Marie is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And she's my mum. She's my mum. That's how my mum was. That's how my mum was. It's fucking insane what a genius Ray Romano was. I really think it was amazing. Reno Jack, are you familiar with the show Cops? I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. MSGT. So, oh no, I read that. Waz 007 did like Land of Giants. Never saw it. And who watched the sci-fi series V about reptiles disguising themselves as human beings and invading the Earth? As a young boy, I was obsessed with that. I was listening to the soundtrack today. I tell you what, we really had some talented people in the industry when I was growing up. I'm afraid they've all been driven out by these people, these nut jobs now. And that sitcom with Charlie Sheen, brilliant. But they killed the PC Brigade. The extremists killed the sitcom because you can't do them like that anymore because everyone's too scared to upset the nutcases. There's nothing like a great sitcom with a live studio audience. MSGT, well, comedy also changed. They went from laugh tracks to shows like The Office. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an Office fan, and I do love the laugh tracks, but I know that there was a lot of shows filmed in front of a live studio audience, which was, we've lost that. I want to go back to that, filming sitcoms in front of a live studio audience. Yeah, I'm not really an Office man. Reno Jack, it's really a show from the 90s in the US, just follows around the police doing stops and chase. I've been bringing it a lot lately, Lowell. Been binging it a lot lately. I do know what it is. I never saw it. Bad Boys, Bad Boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Waz 007, dislike Captain Scarlet, never seen it. I used to love Thunderbirds and Stingray. Stingray! 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 Look, if you can't make a twat of yourself on the old channel, why not? Ahmed Hikal, hey, Movies TV Man, let's flash talk. The stage is yours. I mean, Rick Mail in The New Statesman as Alan Bastard. Fucking hilarious. Again, that's a real attack on the Tories, but it was an amazing sitcom. Do you remember the Falklands, Gov? Indeed I do. I made a fortune from it. And then he kicks the crutches off of the guy. You could not get away with doing shit like that today. But wow, fucking hilarious. Ahmed Hicka, okay, so how important is the movie to the DCU? Right, the Flash movie, I mean, in terms of a lot of the stuff you're seeing it probably isn't that important. But in terms of them basically creating a Flashpoint scenario, so when he goes back, he's in this new timeline. I don't think you're going to see the setup of that new timeline. You're just going to see that they're on a new timeline. They're on a new universe now. And I think, so that element, it is important. And when he go, okay, so how important is the oh no, I've read that. Waz 007. I hope to see live action Stingray film or TV show. That would be great. Man. And then there's that sitcom with the nerds in it. Oh, what's it called? I forgot what it's called now. MSGT, the scientist. No, it's the one with those four guys and the girl. Oh, what's it called? Oh shit. Ahmed Hikal, what would you think would have happened if Black Adam made $1 billion in the box office? Off topic. I think if it made money, they would have continued with the spin-offs, probably on HBO Max. I think it would have been set separately and not involved in James Gunn's new universe. I don't think James Gunn would have got involved or would have wanted to be involved. Maybe it would have even been DC Elseworlds. I don't know. But I don't think, and I think The Rock would have hijacked Henry Cavill's Superman to be part of his universe and not James Gunn's universe. So I think even if that film made money, Henry wouldn't have been James Gunn's Superman. MSGT, The Big Bang Theory, love it. Ahmed Hikal, you? Sorry, you've lost me. Ahmed Hikal, it's lagging. Man. So Black Adam would have just been in his own universe. So but Black Adam flopped. That's it. That's the end. The Rock's big con didn't work. It's over. And he took Henry Cavill's Superman down with him, I'm afraid. Subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button. Be interesting to see if there'll be a new theme composed for Superman and Superman Legacy. If they use John Williams' theme, it'll be interesting. If it is the John Williams theme, the fucking Snyder stands are going to go insane. I mean, movies, TV man, how good were the Flash movie VFX? Look, I didn't see like a cut that was polished, so it will be unfair to talk about VFX. MSGT hadn't thought of that. The score is important. I'd like to see some great creative pieces across the DCU. Yeah, it'd be interesting who James Gunn uses, because James Gunn's used to using these mixtapes and music rather than proper composed music. I'm a fan of proper composed music, and I think a Superman movie really needs composed music. I got a bad feeling we're going to get another mixtape, I'm afraid. Ahmed Hikka, you have a point. I do often have a point, yeah. Nobody ever listens to me or takes my advice, but yeah, listen to the mad people. You'll learn something. Listen to the people who are not popular. The ones who are popular because they say what the general people want them to say. And the people who go opposite, who actually make points and are not just saying things to be popular, probably are making a great point. Most of these people, these popular people on YouTube, they're just literally seducing people with their bullshit. They're telling you what you want to hear, basically. That's how it works. Ahmed Higgo, give us a production of how good you think the VSX of The Flash will be. I think it will be outstanding. I think it will be groundbreaking. I think they use really new, interesting techniques to make that film. So I think, yeah, you're going to really like it. MSGT, I don't think the Snyderverse fanatics will care so much about Zimmer's score if Superman is not Cavill. Yeah, you probably got a point, and that's a good thing. That was another thing, isn't it? That's why we start again. We start again without Henry Cavill, but they're still not happy. They're still not happy because Cavill's not involved. You can't win. That's it. They're never going to let it go. They're like a dog with a bone. They're obsessed. Not all famous people are bullshit. Well, most of them, my friend. How do you think they become successful? It ain't because they're talented. I'm talking about YouTubers. If you name me a YouTuber you think's great and he's genuine, I'll tell you the truth. They're successful because they tell you what you want to hear. These people, these people know what they're doing. But it isn't real. And then when they get successful, what do? They campia. I have nothing further, Your Honour. Perfect example. Talks crap, talks shit, acts like he knows about films and knows jack shit. Abraham Herrera, good evening, Abraham. Hans Zimmer is the best composer of all time. He should be able to pick what movies to score. Hans Zimmer is one of the best composers of all time for me, yes. And of course, it would be interesting if they did give him Superman Legacy. That would be interesting. I don't think they will. I think they might, who knows? John Williams could come out of retirement and score that film. That will be nuts. MSGT, the inconsistency of the fans is ridiculous. They want Robin and then immediately freak out that it's the wrong Robin. Yeah, you make a point. This is what they're trying to do over Damian Wayne. All of a sudden, they don't like Damian Wayne. But yeah, it's nonsense. I think Damian Wayne is the correct choice for Robin. But I don't think he'll be the only Robin in Brave and the Bold. Ahmed Hiccup, do you know Uncle Roger? No, I don't have an Uncle Roger. No, I haven't heard of a YouTuber called Uncle Roger, no. Uncle Roger. Jesus Christ. How do they come up with it? I'm surprised one of them's not called Father Ted after the sitcom. Super Ted. Surprised there's not a YouTuber called Super Ted. There's one called The Oldest Nerd, who usually talks about Doctor Who. There's Mama's Geeky. Aquahiko, search him up. When I get some time, yeah. Can't do it now, but yeah. He is funny. Yeah, once they become successful, buy this, follow that. I'm selling this. They're all the fucking same. They're just a bunch of blag artists, con artists. They'll say crap like, I love the community we've built up here. Yeah, I bet you fucking do. When they're chucking super chats at you. MSGT, I've never thought they could do a proper Robin in live action. But of them, I think maybe Damien is the best suited. Yeah, well, the thing is with Damien, he has a real emotional connection. And, there's stakes in that relationship. And I think it's a really great choice by James. Akmanigo, what will happen if you become famous? No one knows. If I became famous, I'll still be the same. I ain't going to change. I'll just be me. Because what got me to be famous is being me. So I wouldn't change. Abraham Herrera, I think Marvel is bringing back Cap and Tony because this phase ain't so popular. So at the end of the day, the fans have power. I'm not sure if that is a good or a bad thing. Well, we're into a brand new phase. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is part 1 of phase 5. So it's a brand new phase. People have reacted to that movie. There's been mixed responses. I don't know. They could come back in Secret Wars. I think they do come back in the comics in Secret Wars. So, yeah, that's a possibility. I don't think it's anything to do with fan demand, though. I think if they come back, it's because they always planned for them to come back. And they certainly did cut phase 4 short because it wasn't a very popular phase. It wasn't very good. They made mistakes. And Faith's come out and said he was experimenting with phase. Phase 4 was a filler phase. And he had to be experimenting anymore because he got slapped. He got bitch slapped by the fans. And he didn't like it. And that's why all that shit happened with She-Hulk. Because he was basically spitting the dummy out. And there's no question James Gunn's DCU is going to put real pressure on the MCU. I mean, those historical tweets coming out was the best thing that ever happened for DC. It got us in the position of having James Gunn. I know people won't agree with that. And I'll be happy once he's done with Guardians 3, so he can totally focus on it. Once Guardians 3's out and it's done, that's it. There'll be no more Disney for James Gunn. I mean, I'd love to see Captain America back. Steve Rogers back. But it depends. Those actors may not even want to come back. It'll be interesting. I think what Feige was cautious over was allowing these actors to stay and grow out of the role and then becoming too reliant on them, which you don't want to do. It happens in a lot of series and franchises. It happened with Dallas, really. You become too reliant on popular characters. That's why you've always got to be developing new characters. I don't think he's done a great job with what, but I do think that Captain America 4 will be a very good film. I think they laid some great foundations in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I do think the Thunderbolts will be a really good series or movie or whatever it is. I think that will be cool as well. So there's some things I am looking forward to. Falcon and the Winter Soldier really did set up some good stuff in terms of Thunderbolts and Captain America 4. So I am looking forward to see how that plays out. Abraham Herrera, if I was Chris Evans, I'd ask for a mountain of money to come back. Yeah, I mean, look, that's automatic. That's the way it works, isn't it? But he doesn't need the money. But yeah, I mean, money's a given. Money's a given, my friend. I mean, that would always happen. Look at how much Marlon Brando got to get to be in Superman the movie for a few minutes' work. Insane. And even Brando thought it was funny. And Brando's reaction to it is he goes, well, lots of people get paid ridiculous amounts of money for useless endeavours. So he weren't a bullshitter, like most of the actors out there today. And when I say actors, I'm not genderising that. I mean actors in general. They're all full of shit. Full of shit. There's no more heroes left in the world. Abraham Herrera, if I was Griffin... Oh, no, I've already read that. I mean, there's no guarantee they'll come back. I mean, let's see what they do. They may not want to come back. Abraham Herrera, do you think there is an actor today that comes close to Brando's skills? No. No, there's no one. There's no one. Brando was a one-off. Robert De Niro is a one-off. Al Pacino is a one-off. There aren't actors like that anymore. Even people like Ray Liotta, there's no film stars left, and there's nothing like that. The talent that we grew up with was on another level. These actors, all right, but you couldn't. I mean, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. I mean, come on. It's a joke, right? I think once Hollywood went down the direction of, and I love Sylvester Stallone, but Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, that's when it started to change. And there's no one like Brando out there. I mean, Brando was exceptional. I mean, even if you see him in Superman the movie, the accent, the accent, the performance, and when you know how Brando actually spoke, amazing. One off, you just don't get. You just don't get talent like that in the industry. I think Russell Crowe was probably the last one, and he's aging out now. The best actors are the older actors. That's the problem. Robert Downey Jr., very good actor. I mean, his performance as Charlie Chaplin, he should have won an Oscar, or at least been nominated for one. Sensational. But we're losing the great actors now. And they're not, Brie Larson is not a great actor. She's solid, but that's the kind of person that this generation think is amazing. Dr. Sashi Zaka, even Jack Nicholson and Russell Crowe are peerless. Well, Jack Nicholson was in his own class. I'm afraid he can't act anymore because he's not. He's got senile. He's got dementia. But yeah, I mean, Jack was one of the greats. No question about it. One of the greats. Abraham Herrera, there is something special about watching an actor in black and white films and then in color. That was a different era of filmmaking. Obviously, when they back in the day, they weren't making them in black and white to be cool. They couldn't make them in color. The old Laurel and Hardys, a lot of them were in black and white, and then they were transferred into color. I don't like to see Laurel and Hardy in color. Laurel and Hardy wasn't meant to be in color. But yeah, black and white. Yeah, there's something glorious and graceful. I'd love to have been around in those days. Better, unique times, different. No tech, low tech, it's just a different world we live in today. A crazy one. I don't necessarily think that the world we live in today is a better world. Waz 007, I hope we get Mrs. Marvel season 10. I'll miss Marvel season 2. Probably. Who knows? Who knows? Well, Miss Marvel will be in the Marvels with Brie Larson. So that's when you'll see her again, if you're itching to see her. Welcome to Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, and we are talking movies. We're talking entertainment. The floor is yours. Let's talk. Waz 007, I think Robert Downey Jr. came back. Well, he said he won't, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. He's always said he won't come back, so... Which I can totally understand. He's done his bit, isn't he? And he wants to make proper movies where he can get respect. I mean, I don't really think he's done anything that significant since he's left Marvel, which is a shame. Dr. Sashisaki, the Batman Part 2 should go deeper into Gotham's corruption. It can be a good way to set up the Court of Owls. I think probably that's what they're going to do for sure. And that's why they're setting up the Penguin series and setting the Penguin up as the new head gangster. So I think that's what they're planning to do, Dr. Zashisaki. The Batman 2, the Penguin, Arkham, all going to be great. Reno Jack, top 3 RDJ roles outside of Iron Man, obviously Charlie Chaplin. I tell you what, after that, I'm a bit lost. I'm not really that familiar. Oh, he was pretty good in that Halle Berry horror film when she was a psychotherapist or something in that asylum. Forgot what that was called. But I mean, I wouldn't say that's his biggest roles, but I don't really know much about him. He was great in Air America, Mel Gibson. Waz 007, I can't wait to see Harrison Ford in Muck. Abraham Herrera, I remember when my mum got me my first VHS player, I learned to pick it apart and clean the heads when the image was dirty. Yeah, I used to do that. Oh, I love my VHS recorder. I recorded everything off the telly, all my favourite soaps, all my movies. I used to pause the adverts. It was so good. Reno Jack, have you ever seen him in Natural Born Killers? Love that movie. Great movie. Great movie. Yep. Brilliant movie. Is that an Oliver Stone film, Natural Born Killers? I think it is, isn't it? That's a freak of a movie. That's amazing. Again, they don't make them like that anymore, do they? Now, I'm afraid Hollywood has deteriorated and they're all in financial trouble because the talent isn't there anymore. All the streamers are in financial meltdown. All the studios, it ain't just WB that need to raise $3 billion. They're all in trouble because of the creative bankruptcy and their obsession with displaying their corrupt, insane political worldviews. Abraham Herrera, the one movie Tarantino wrote but didn't direct, was 007. Sylvester did not Brando. Reno Jack, yes, it's Oliver Stone. Downey isn't the main character, but his role is pretty hilarious as the journalist in the prison. Yeah, he's good in that. I mean, he has done a lot of small roles as well. But I mean, for me, I don't know his full body of work, but for me, Chaplin is got to be one of the best things he's done. And I don't know all his films, but that was just amazing. He performed the shit out of that. And he was so young. Very good film. Very good film. No question. I must watch that again because I do like that film. He should have won an Oscar or at least been nominated for one. It was sensational. Was 007 Sylvester Stallone screen tested for Superman, which is insane. Oliver Stone, another great writer-director. JFK, one of the greatest movies ever made. Platoon, Born on the 4th of July. Wow. Great stuff. No way could Sylvester Stallone play Superman. What a joke. No way. He's not even tall enough to be Superman. God, I hate the winter. Was 007 Sylvester screen test for Superman 1978? Yeah. Reno Jack, are you familiar with Robert Downey Jr. character in the movie Tropic Thunder? Lol, yes, I am. Yeah. That's another great movie, isn't it? Wow. And Tom Cruise was in that movie as well, wasn't he? Again, don't make them like they used to. It's gone. It's dead. The industry's dead. It's just the same shit they make all the time. And every movie they announce, this is an important movie. Oh my God, it's so amazing. They're so amazing. Before they've even seen the fucking movie. Before the movie's been made, it's amazing. It's groundbreaking. The first this, the first that, the first the other. That's all they're interested in. They're not interested in, talent and entertainment anymore. Or what the story of the movie is. Reno Jack, absolutely hilarious movie that could never be made today. Ha ha. No, nothing can be made today. Because we're full of lunatics. We're full of fucking lunatics. Basically, we woke up and we found ourselves in the Demolition Man world. That's where we are. If you swear, you're going to get fucking fined. If you say this, if you say that, you say the other. You're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're this, you're that, you're the other, you're an ish, you're an ism. You can't win. We're fucked. We allowed the human race to be taken over by fucking nut jobs. If I want to shag a woman, there's something wrong with me. Actually, there's something right with me for being attracted to women, right? That's normal for me and for straight men, but that's wrong. It's wrong to open a fucking door for a woman. It's wrong, you know. The world's fucking mad. The world's mad. Reno Jack, Demolition Man is a classic. And I mean, I am convinced they will invent the free seashells soon. I mean, I think we're in a mad enough world for that to happen. Oh, Demolition Man, I loved it. And I loved the song by Sting. Demolition. Wesley Snipes, one of the best on-screen villains. I thought he was amazing. Sandra Bullock. Happy, happy, joy, joy. That's the world we live in now. We live in fucking Demolition Man. We do. We're in the world of fucking Cocteau. Cock being a fucking buzzword. Reno Jack, they don't even do soundtracks for movies anymore with songs by known musicians. Yet, even that's not the same anymore. It's dead. Listen, my friend, they killed a beautiful industry because they allowed a bunch of extremists to take over. And it's no fun. There's no fun anymore. It's dead. It's dead. Where are your platoons? Where are your, you know, where are your apocalypses now? Where's your taxi drivers? It's dead. It's gone. Your single white females. The Fan, starring Robert De Niro. Great movies. Unlawful Entry, starring Ray Liotta and Madeleine Stowe. Great fucking movie. Put the gun down, Karen, because you know that this is right. Cape Fear, starring Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte. Wow. I mean, you know, that's a fucking reboot that actually works. We were very, very lucky to grow up with some great entertainment. Really were. But at least we got the memories. At least we can rewatch the great stuff. And we are in a sad time now. Waz 007, Demolition Man Wesley Snipes role offers to Jackie Chan, but turned down role. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm glad Jackie Chan didn't take that. Wesley Snipes was fucking perfect. There's no way Jackie Chan could have done with that role what Wesley Snipes did. No way. It would have been a joke. Abraham Herrera, I was watching the new Joe Blow video on the Coen Brothers great movies from those two. Yeah. Again, at them. Geniuses. Reno Jack, Waz, that is insane. Yeah, that is insane, isn't it? No, Jackie Chan, no way. Jodie Foster, The Accused, a great movie about a woman being raped. And, you know, but back then we didn't have Twitter to create a conversation that all men are fucking rapists, right? But that's what happened today. A great movie. Jodie Foster, Silence of the Lambs, brilliant. Amazing films. Tom Cruise, Cocktail. Tom Cruise, Born on the 4th of July, you know, it just goes on and on. Bruce Willis in Country as an ex-Vietnam vet. Amazing. Co-starring the great Emily Lloyd. You know, we were spoiled. We were spoiled. Abraham Herrera, Jodie Foster was my celebrity crush when I was a kid. Waz 007, I hope to see Sly and Jackie Chan film together near future. Who knows? I mean, you know, they're not getting any younger, are they? So if they're going to do it, they need to do it now. But none of us are getting any younger. What YouTuber would you like to see me cross over with? Which YouTuber do you think I'd be hilarious with? Grace Randolph. Grace Randolph. That would be fun. Reno Jack, did you see the Christian Bale GQ article where he said most actors owe their breakout roles to DiCaprio turning it down? Pretty classic. Yeah. Well, Chris always says it the way it is. Yeah. But it's actually true. That's actually true. Abraham Herrera, you're right. So we were so spoiled. And now we're not spoiled. And now we live in a bland, boring industry that just does the same thing, just gives the same directors and the same actors work. And it's sad. I grew up in the UK. As I say, I had 3 channels. I watched all the soap operas, all the cop shows. We had 3 channels. And why was it? I was always entertained. No channel was 24 hours a day, but we were always entertained. Your Knight Riders, your A-Teams. Reno Jack, he said DiCaprio turned down the American Psycho role, and that's how he got it. I tell you what, Leo would have been amazing in that, but Christian was brilliant. Christian Bale, for me, is my favourite Batman. Certainly my favourite Bruce Wayne. And he was, they did him dirty in The Dark Knight. They reduced his screen time. But in the first film, Batman Begins, that is Christian Bale at his best. I mean, DiCaprio didn't even want to do Titanic. He said it was going to be a boring movie. I mean, DiCaprio was amazing in Romeo and Juliet, in What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp as a young boy. I mean, that guy's been acting for a while. And now they want to cancel Leo for dating young women now as well. It just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Waz 007, yeah, Batman Begins is a great film, mate. That is my favourite Batman movie. It's a brilliant movie. Emotional, compelling. The Tumbler is a great idea. Nolan didn't actually want a Batmobile. It's the studio that said, we want a Batmobile. So he didn't want to do the Batmobile, so he came up with the Tumbler, which I thought was a great idea. Batman Begins is my favourite Nolan Batman movie, for sure. I actually think I like The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight, but it is overhyped. No question about that. It's a really good movie, but it ain't my favourite one. Batman Begins is. I mean, Liam Neeson, Christian Bale, actors of stage and screen. Exactly what Dick Donner did with Superman the movie. Reno Jack, you can have countless classic films, be an advocate for world causes, but don't date a younger girl or it's curtains for you, lol. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's right, and I'm not going to say it's wrong. It's none of my concern. He's not forcing himself on them. They are agreeing to date him. They're not underage. Let's be clear here. They are not underage, so it's not illegal. But everyone is judging people. All these little fucks on the internet who we don't know about, who don't show their pictures, right? They're probably fucking mass fucking serial killers. And they're on Twitter judging everybody else. It's pathetic. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of this bullshit about Hogwarts Legacy as well. If I was into games and if I was that into Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter, the films, I'd buy that fucking game. That's your point, isn't it? I mean, he's an environmentalist. He's made documentaries about the environment. You know, at the end of the day, it ain't for you and me to judge. As I say, he's not dating underage girls, right? He ain't doing anything bad. Now, if it's against your sensibilities, you know, he's a fucking movie star, right? So he's dating 20-year-old girls. So fucking what? I don't blame him. Good luck to him. And if they're up for it, why not? Sorry if that upsets anyone. But people are pathetic today. Social media has killed our society. Killed our society because it's given too many fucking idiots a voice. That's the problem. Angry, butthurt little pricks who get loads of followers, right? And they're a problem. So I don't care who he dates and what age they are. Ain't none of my business. None of my business. Couldn't give a shit. But if I was in his position, I would do the fucking same and I'd be fucking enjoying myself. I'd be going, wait, hey! And I wouldn't give a shit what Polly and Eric on Twitter thought of me. I wouldn't give a shit. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's an older man's wet fucking dream, isn't it? Let's be honest about it. Let's stop pretending. Waz 007, I hope to see Leo MUC or DCU. Unlikely, unlikely. Definitely not the MCU. I will be so pissed off if he was in the MCU and not the DCU. I don't want any decent actor involved with them. I mean, Jonathan Majors, great casting by Fake. And he's going to be in Creed 3. I can't wait to see him and Michael Jordan on screen together in Creed 3. Jonathan Majors is a brilliant actor. I mean, once I saw him in Loki as Kang the Conqueror, I mean, Loki is a very mid MCU series. It's okay. It's not it's one of the better ones probably, but still. But I mean, when he turns up in that finale, I mean, it's some great work. Brilliant work. Abraham Herrera, sometimes I see videos that I'm sure a sane human being wouldn't give it a like, but they still have thousands of likes. That's what I think. The internet is rigged. Oh, it's rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged for certain people to be successful. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Reno Jack, pre-recorded Mick is Clark Kent. Live chat Mick is Superman. Yeah, well, I'm a bit more controlled when I do a pre-recorded video because, I'm talking seriously and stuff, aren't I, about whatever subject I'm talking about. And then when I come on here live, it's a bit more relaxed, isn't it? Good point, no, Reno Jack. Where's 007? Leo best film is Departed, a very good film. What's his best performance is interesting. I mean, that's an interesting one. He's done a lot of good films. I mean, the boy's a great actor. Great actor. Reno Jack, Waz Departed is one of my top films. And isn't that with Jack Nicholson as well? They don't make them like that anymore either. Jesus Christ. We were robbed, mate. I feel sorry for this generation. I genuinely feel sorry for them. All they've got to look forward to is the next superhero movie. That's it. Or Fast 201. Waz 007. Rumour Leo was being Godfather 4, but never made. Oh, interesting. Yeah, leave the Godfathers alone. No more Godfathers. Even the third one wasn't great. First two were awesome. I am going to make you another. You can't refuse. That was shit. That was shit. Reno Jack, Leo, Jack, Matt Damon, Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, Alex Baldwin, loaded cast. It was a loaded cast, wasn't it? It was one of those. Well, when you get a loaded cast normally, the film's normally shit, but that film was actually a very good film. There's loads of films but that are loaded with stars. Purposely, that's the idea. It doesn't work. Another movie I absolutely adore is Forrest Gump. I would go as far as to say as Forrest Gump is one of the best movies ever made. It's just, I mean, can you imagine these cool kids being used to MCU stuff, sitting there for 2.5 hours watching Forrest Gump? I still cry when I see that film. It's fucking amazing. And they don't make them like that anymore, either. It's a shit world. It's a shit world, right? Shit mentalities. And they've killed all the fun. The fun. Waz 007 tribute film Godfather director our studio did not want him. Abraham Herrera, there is not a dull scene in Forrest Gump. It's an amazing film. It's an amazing, beautiful film. Reno Jack, Forrest Gump and Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, what a film. Robin Williams, so missed. I really miss him. What an amazing, talented man. Where I most frequently watched VHS as a kid. I mean, I cry. I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire is hilarious, but it's also very tragic in a lot of ways. It's brilliant. Robin Williams was a fucking class apart. I mean, we've gone so crazy. I mean, there used to be a double act called Hale and Pace, right? Where live on stage, they put a cat in the microwave and they eat the cat. Now, obviously, it wasn't a real cat. But imagine, you couldn't do that today. just as a gag. You can't do anything. You can't even breathe is the wrong way. I'm sure soon they'll put people in prison for misgenderizing people. This is the insane apocalyptic demolition man world we now live in. I don't want to live in this shit world. It is shit. It is so shit, full of mad fucking people. There was a film pundit saying the only reason that The Woman King didn't get more Oscars is because a black woman directed it. It's absolute nonsense. Nonsense. Bullshit. Abraham Hera, I think the people around Robin convinced him that he was sick when he wasn't. Oh, I don't think that at all, Abraham. He had, he was dying. Robin was dying. That's why he took his own life. And he was very good friends with Christopher Reeve. Very good friends. But yeah, he was no. I don't think anyone, I think he had some kind of tumor or something. He was dying. It was something to do with the brain. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was very tragic, very sad. Very sad. Great man, beautiful man, very, very talented, always ready to make people laugh. He was just a one-off. Just amazing. I mean, you'll never see something of that talent from the nitwits around now who are talking about representation and seeing people seeing themselves on the fucking screen. There's another film coming on Netflix and you hear the woman saying, I want to represent every single black woman. Who are you to represent every single black woman? Who are you? How arrogant are you to say you're representing every single person? Does that mean I'm representing every Anglo-Greek Cypriot on fucking YouTube? Of course I'm not. Jesus Christ. They're so fucking arrogant and they say the same shit with every marketing of every project. Waz 007, Robin Williams was good friend with John Candy. Yep, and Christopher Reeve. Very good friends with Christopher Reeve. I think they studied together. John Candy was another legend. Another legend. I mean, John Hughes, who produced and wrote Home Alone 1 and 2. Genius. Plane, Trains and Automobiles. Genius. We're talking about a superior era in Hollywood. James Gunn, when he unleashed his slate the other day, was talking about the deterioration of the entertainment industry in the past 30 years. Even he admits it. He knows it's deteriorated. They know this is a shit era and they're losing money, all of them, hands over fist, because they've allowed this industry to deteriorate. And there's no money in the industry anymore. Oh, they quote big box offices, but they're not making the money throughout the board. Waz 007, John Candy acting in good films. He was amazing. He was amazing. He was a sensational man. Another one. Great guy. Abraham Hera, but medication does that to people, Mick. Recently, a doctor prescribed medication to my mum and it was making her more sick. I told her to stop taking it because I found out two of these combined. Yes, sometimes, obviously, you can take the wrong medication. Sometimes medication isn't right for everyone. But I think, I don't think generally medication makes you ill. I mean, I've got family members who refuse to take paracetamol when they've got a flu and they end up having a bad cold because they've read up that it damages them in another way. But the problem is you can't die of hypothermia and, a chest infection because a couple of tablets may give you other problems in later life. You have to take them. You have to protect yourself. This is the world we live in. Yeah, they could harm you. It's like the pandemic and, the fact the pro-vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers, these arguments have been going on forever, Abraham. But unfortunately, sometimes we need these things. And whether or not there's other, consequences, you have to make a decision what you want to do. Wise 007 did like film East is East. Never saw that one. And of course, too much medication can harm your kidneys, of course. Grease was another great movie. Honestly, I grew up with some great stuff. Amazing, amazing. T.J. Hooker starring William Shatner, great series. I saw him in that before I saw him in Star Trek. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. And I remember at school, because TJ Hooker used to throw his baton at someone's leg, I decided to throw a stick at someone's leg when they were running away from me, and it fucking worked. He fell to the ground. I was well pleased. Had a right big bruise behind his legs. I felt guilty about that. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. The Dempsey and Makepeace, another great show. Da-da. They got married as well. They're still married, Dempsey and Makepeace. Da-da-da-da. Da-da. Hunter was a great one. A bit of a Dirty Harry type of cop show. My country, Mark, let's do it for our country. Our country wants us to. Where are we? Abraham Herrera, John Candy actually died in the city I'm from here in Mexico. He had a heart attack. I say this because someone mentioned John Candy a few minutes ago. Yeah, John was a bit overweight, wasn't he? And probably not very healthy. It was a shame. Very talented man, though. And his work lives with us. And that's when you make art and you make movies and you're an actor or you're a singer or you write books or whatever. You live forever when you do something amazing. Waz 007, William Shatner and George did not like each other, still hate each other. Oh, George Takei, yeah, oh my God, they're like cat and dog. They really are, it's hilarious. It's very sad. Abraham Herrera, boo, he was a lovely man, a true gentle giant, he really was. I mean, wow. Wow. Yeah, old Hollywood was special, my friend. Old Hollywood was special. This isn't even Hollywood anymore. I mean, to think that nobody watches the awards ceremonies anymore because they're fucking lecturing and virtue signaling. And as a kid, I used to watch the Oscars and I used to pretend I was doing a speech from when I became famous. It was a beautiful thing. It was wish fulfillment watching the Oscars or the Grammys. Now I see them go up there and, it's just not the same. There's no one to look up to anymore for anyone. They're all fucking influencers as well. All these people, right? Even actors, they're all fucking influencers. All of them. I go onto Instagram and I mean, it's ridiculous. Abraham, me too. I used to put the Oscars in the pedestal. I used to put the industry. I used to think they were all great. And now they're not great. They're not great people. They're just assholes. They bore on about politics all day. It's boring. It's boring. It's just no fun anymore. It's just no fun. I see through them now. And it spoils the industry for me now, the industry that I love. I love films. You still get people like Robert Eggers, who did The Northman. Brilliant film. So you can still see some good stuff these days, but it's few and far between. I mean, Mel Gibson, an actor like him ending up being one of the greatest directors who ever lived. Braveheart, one of the greatest movies ever made. Passion of the Christ, one of the best movies ever made. Apocalypto, a brilliant movie. So the industry is just gone now. It's over. And they can try and convince us that it's still great, but it is not great. It's dead. It is dead. It's over. The domination of Disney started the destruction. Reno Jack, nowadays I look at the Oscar noms just to have a laugh. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, imagine having an investigation because a black person wasn't nominated or something. This is where we are now. This is the extremist world we live in. It's no good. It's no good. Oscar's so white. I couldn't give a fucking shit. I don't care who gets them, as long as they're deserved for talent. I don't care what little box you're in. We're fed up of you. We are fed up of all of you, you extremist nut jobs. Fed up of you, I say. If it was up to me, I'd put all these little extremists, right, especially in the entertainment industry, and the twats on Twitter, I would put them on Oceanic 8:15 and dub them on the fucking Lost Island. And I wouldn't even let them go in the hatch where there's food in the shower. Bunch of propaganda merchants, all of them. I mean, look at these fucking woman-on-woman round tables. Who sits there and watches that shit? I'm a woman. I'm amazing because I'm a woman. I couldn't give a shit. Fuck off about my face. Don't care. You lunatics. You lunatics. Man. All these white men. Shut up. We don't want to hear your nonsense anymore, you bloody nutters. Abraham Herrera, that's what happened with social media. We see more and the spell is broken. At the same time, we get good things out of it, but at the cost of being hypocrites. Yeah. I mean, literally, we're financing a movie full of fucking arseholes. We're financing an industry full of arseholes, aren't we? But yeah, when you like something, go and watch it. But there's not enough good stuff. There's not enough good people in the industry, talented people who care about entertaining. All those people were driven out. It's not about wanting to entertain anymore. I had an argument a few years ago with an Asian actor. I forgot his name. He used to be on Law and Order SVU. He was in the Jurassic World movies as well. And he was talking about representation. I said, well, as long as, a thing's entertaining, he goes, no, representation is more important. And this guy wouldn't stop responding to me, even when I was ignoring him. In the end, I had to fucking mute a Hollywood actor. Imagine that. He wouldn't stop. I mean, like Twitter now, since Musk took it over, you've got this, you can go on the bit with your friends on it, your followers, and the other bit, which has got loads of shit on it. And I mean, you just get lost in the end. You like respond to one thing, then you get loads of stuff on the same subject, and you get lost and you don't see the people that you're following and who are following you. It's insane. Welcome to Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick. We're here talking about movies and putting the world to rights and talking about nut jobs working in the entertainment industry. All a bunch of nut jobs. And they spend all their days like men bashing. Then they show us selfies with their fucking boyfriends and husbands. I mean, it's insane. They say it's all men, so why don't they stop talking to their husbands, their daddies, their granddads, and their uncles? No, they won't do that. So shut the F up then. Just because it asks you what you're thinking, it doesn't mean you have to tell us what you're thinking every single time. It's just a question. You don't have to take it literally. What's on your mind? You don't have to tell us everything that's in your mind. Don't empty it into the fucking shopping trolley. Leave it up there. Leave it up there. Right, guys, we're going to wrap up tonight's live. It's been another great night talking about DC and entertainment and other shit. So I'm going to wrap it up in a minute. I think tonight I'm going to have a cup of warm milk with a biscuit because I'm cold. That thing behind me is actually a heater. Reno Jack, damn, Mick, had to mute Dr. Wu. Yes, I had to mute Dr. Wu. I unmuted him in the end. Honestly, he wouldn't leave me alone. The geezer was stalking me. He wouldn't stop. He would not stop. Jesus Christ. Maybe he muted me in the end. I don't know, but I definitely muted him. That was nuts. They're obsessed. They're so aggressively political. They're insane. They're just all insane. And I mean, they talk about gun control and they use fucking real guns on location and on sets. They're hypocrites. I agree there needs to be gun control, but they're hypocrites. Reno Jack, that's crazy. He's in the OG Jurassic Park and classic SVU. Never knew he was nuts like that. Well, maybe he's an all right guy, but yeah, he was going on about representation and inclusion mattering and all that bullshit. I ain't against inclusion at all, but I don't think you should sacrifice entertainment and just give any person a job just because you want to tick another box, which is what they're doing today. It's insane. It's a crazy industry. I mean, it was always a crazy industry, but now they're not even talented. Now they're not even talented. I mean, Dr. Wu is a really good actor, by the way. I always liked him in SVU. I never had an issue with him, but yeah, nuts. I mean, half the time people ignore me if I quote tweet them, but now and again I do get caught cold, and I don't back off of it. It's better when they ignore you because you can get something off your chest and then you just move on. It's when they start responding to you. Do you have to? I'm crazy. Didn't you know that? Just ignore me. If everyone fucking ignored me, everyone would be happy. Reno Jack, that's crazy. He's in the... Oh, no, we read that. It's a crazy world, my friend. It's a crazy world. They all know about me. I've been blocked by entertainment sites, by famous people. TV Line blocked me. I don't know what I did to them. They don't like opinions because I'm not aggressive. I don't bully anyone or threaten anyone. But they kiss the asses of shit that's shit, and then when you bite back, they don't like it. Right, everyone, we're going to wrap tonight's live video. This has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again. Goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Reno Jack, have a great one, sir. You too, Reno. Hope to see you all again. I will be back tomorrow morning or lunchtime or whenever for the DC Universe Daily. Will there be some news? We'll be talking about other things. We will see. And of course, I'm here every evening with the live show. So be there or be square. See you later, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until I see you again, goodbye.